Hi, this is Donna from Clever Crafting. Thank you so much for joining me today. So we are going to make this gorgeous little Christmas spinner card today. It is a beauty. I really enjoyed making it. And I'm also very excited to be back making videos. So it's been a little bit of a challenging year, but here we are on track again, we hope. So let's get started. You're going to need a couple of circles. You can only see one there, but there's two circles that are cut out of that red metallic. They're about 5.5 centimeters wide. These pieces of pattern paper are 13.5 centimeters by 13.5 centimeters. And I've got two pieces of lightweight cardstock, which are 14 centimeters by 14 centimeters, some circles, some thread, and some ephemera. We're going to start by folding our pieces of cardstock in half. So you're going to score that at 7 centimeters, except I accidentally scored it at 6.5 centimeters. Oops, my bad. That's okay because we're going to be covering it anyway. You won't even know at the end. So I've just put a score at the right place. You can see how I fold it together because even when I score it, sometimes those ends don't match up. So I pop it in the corner of my little score buddy there and fold them together to make sure that they're even. Okay, so now we are just going to sit these two pieces on top of one another. So the folders in the center, they're flat, and I have put them on top of one another. So I'm just going to use a little bit of masking tape here. I was just detacking it there on my hand. I did this the other day after I had moisturized my hands. It doesn't work. It just, yeah, there was no tack left on it at all. So don't do that. It's probably best to do it on your clothes. Anyway, I've lined that up and I'm going to cut a circle out of it. Now, just to give you an idea, I think it's about 9 centimeters. Yep, it's about 9 centimeters, that circle. But as long as it's bigger than the circle that you cut, the small one, then that's fine. What I'm showing you there is I'm using the little notches that are left over from the circle when we pull them apart from our nesting circles to line up with the center fold of my card. So I did that so I knew that it was in the center. And I've just run it through my die cutting machine and removed all of my masking tape. So I'm grabbing one of my patterned pieces of paper that you may recall are a little bit smaller than my cardstock, so it leaves a nice white border around the outside. I am putting this on the back, and just adding some masking tape. Obviously the wrong side is up there and it's on the back of that piece of card. The reason that I'm doing this is because I wanted to make sure that this circle was lined up perfectly. So I'm using the same die and I'm just putting it back in that one piece of cardstock. You can see the other piece of cardstock on the side there. It will fit in a little bit like a jigsaw puzzle. You'll feel when it clicks in place, and I'm going to run that through my die cutting machine. So this will make sure that that circle in my patterned paper is cut out at exactly the right spot. So you can see here I've just run that through, and we can pull it out just very carefully. So now you can see that the circle's lined up perfectly, but I've got that edge around the outside, but I don't have one in the center. I do want one in the center. I want a little white border in the center. So what I'm going to do is line up my other two pieces of paper. So I've got all three pieces of patterned paper there. I'm going to go back to this lovely pre-loved detacked masking tape and just using it to temporarily hold them in place. And what I'm going to do is with my nesting dies, I'm actually going to get the one bigger. So when I cut the bigger circle out, it will give me a white edge. And I can cut all three of them at the same time. It saves time, and then I'll know that they're all in the right space. Or the right place, I should say. I've run that through my die cutting machine, carefully removing my masking tape. And I've got three circles that are all in the same place and all the same size and a little bit bigger than my cardstock. So I've got my two pieces of cardstock. I put them on top of one another to make sure that they were the right way around, they matched. You can see what I've done here is I've folded them in half and I've put the two folded edges together. So I'm going to line up that circle because we took our time and we made sure that it was all centered at the beginning. We should be able to line that up without too many dramas at all. I did cut my sellotape then a bit too wide, but you can see that what I've done is I've put a little piece of sellotape and I've left a gap on the top edge and on the edge to the circle because my pattern paper is going to cover the sellotape, but we want to make sure that the sellotape's not going to stick out. So this is the first piece of patterned paper that I'm going to put on, covering that join that we've got there. So this is the side that you can see the join, side that we've put the sellotape on. And I'm going to pop on my piece of patterned paper, which by the way lines up perfectly because remember we did all of that lining up when we were cutting it out. So now I've put the piece of paper on directly the opposite side. So on the other side that had the sellotape on, I've put another piece of patterned paper. Now this side is not a join. And what I'm doing is I'm putting a little bit of double-sided tape, and once again I'm leaving a gap at the top and the bottom, so when I stick my patterned paper on it you can't see the double-sided tape. I'm making sure that I'm really burnishing that into my cardstock. That should help me remove my release paper, which obviously was a little bit tricky that time. But I've taken that on. I'm going to grab my thread. Now this is a metallic thread, but you can just use normal cotton, anything will work. And I'm sticking it in my double-sided tape at the top, and I'm pulling it firm, not extra tight, but firm. So it's nice and firm across, and I'm just going to trim it. I haven't trimmed it right off. I've just cut it so the reel is out of the way. I'm then putting another layer of double-sided tape over the top of the thread. It will loosen as time goes by, but I wanted to try and stay as firm as possible. So not only am I putting another piece of double-sided tape over it, but I'm really burnishing that piece of double-sided tape down as well, which should really help secure that thread. I've removed the release paper on that, just made sure that I had my card the right way up, and I glued that piece of paper on as well, the same way as I did the others. I've just trimmed off the excess thread, and I'm once again burnishing that because I did have glue all over my paper, burnishing that in place to make sure that the thread doesn't move. So now you can see the two circles that I cut. I placed one upside down underneath and in the center, underneath the thread, making sure that it was centered in my circle. Glue on the other one, and I've stuck it on top so the thread is going through the middle. I've got a couple of little elves which come in this month's Christmas card making kit that we've got, and I colored them in and die cut them. I've just popped some double-sided foam tape that here in Australia I buy from Bunnings on the back of both of them, and I've stuck them on. This is just a little greeting, a red edge, simple Merry Christmas. I did put a bit of foam underneath the white part between the white and the red, popped some glue on the back. I think I'm going to put that, I put that at a little angle on there. And here is our card. How pretty is that? Goes flat so you can send it through the post without any dramas, but stands up and makes a lovely display in addition to anyone's Christmas decor. So nice and easy. That's a section there, the white on the back that you can write on. Of course, you can add a little bit of a letter in there as well if you wanted to add more than the room allows. So this is just a couple of close-ups of our card. And some photos that you can see how lovely it looks. I was really happy as how this I actually got off someone, they posted about 11 years ago, so it's an oldie but a goodie. Anyway, I just wanted to thank you all for joining me today. I really hope that you all learned something and you give this card a go. I would really love to see your creations on our Facebook group, so I'll leave a link for that below. If you did enjoy yourself today, please subscribe and give us a thumbs up. It really helps our little channel when you do. So until next time, stay safe and happy crafting.